Hey, prospectors, Tony from Gold Talk, Leonora. Out on site. One of the nicest days I've seen out in the bush. Well, every day, even a bad day out in the bush is a bloody better day than in the city, but just having a great old morning and quite a nostalgic one actually. And I thought I'd just share the story. I mean, why not? It's telling stories around the campfire is a big part of prospecting. So even though we haven't got a campfire going. But so I've been out pegging ground this morning. Got another couple to go, and one of the ones I've just completed then was sort of an area that I've been coming to since I was, I don't know, 6 or 7, something like that, with mum and dad. I did a lot of prospecting as a boy with mum and dad around the state, and it's quite a funny one because I was here on the day, and this is around, I'm going to say around 1976, 77, something like that. So a fair while ago, and detectives had only just come out. And Dad and his prospecting partner, Bill Hay, and Mum and myself, I was only a young lad, but we were working a creek system around the back here. And we hit a virgin patch, so like I said, 1976, 77, on the side of a hill. And there's a fence line running down the middle of the patch. And Bill got the first nugget, which was about 4.5 ounces. And I know it's annoying hearing all the big gold that people have found, but just the way it was. And the detectors, compared to what we've got today, are so bloody useless that needed to be something sizable. And I think on the first day, I can't remember, I'm going to say about 15 ounces, something like that, came off it, and she was a pretty good patch, and we were there for a long time. But there was 2 things that I thought I'd share with you from like my own family's history. And as I said, there's a fence line going down the middle of it, and we were working this place hard and hard and hard. And after a fair period of time, we started running out of gold, as you always do on a patch. And the 3 of us were dejected, and we're sitting around having crib and bully beef sangers in those days, because there was no refrigeration out in the bush. And we're all sitting around having a cup of tea and some sangers, and we're all sort of feeling a bit dejected about it and thinking, it's time to move on. And Mum says, I can remember it quite clearly, Mum said, has anyone tried on the other side of the fence? And Dad looked at Bill, and Bill looked at Dad, and they both looked at me, and I looked at them. And no one had bothered to walk over the fence. It was this, I don't know, it's just human nature, perhaps. And you probably know where this story is going. We jumped the fence, and bang, it was back on again, and everyone was happy again, and the gold was flowing, and everything was really good. So the moral of this story is I suppose, don't let things like tracks or physical barriers that you see, don't let them stop you. Things like fences or tracks. Be prepared just to think outside the square a bit, because chronologically the gold's been there a hell of a lot longer than a road or a track or a fence line or what have you. So that's just one little tip. And then the other, and that's the best part, because this is the ground I'm actually pegging. Dad's patch is on the other side of those hills over there, and that happens to fall in another company's leases that aren't friendly to prospectors. So that's out at this stage. But years and years and years ago, locals in Leonora got onto a patch out here, and I sort of got wind of it fairly late, maybe 3 or 4 months down the track. And I remember very specifically calling my dad up, who's now long gone, but I called Dad up and said, the side of the hill? He said, yeah. I said, did you ever walk over to the other side of the hill? And all I hear is this silence on the other end of the phone. And he said, no. He says, yeah, well, neither did I. And I said, so-and-so's got onto a bloody good patch on the other side. And again, you know where this story's going. I mean, there was a lot of gold that's come off it.